Hi, and welcome to East Park. My name is Kim and I'm the fundraiser here. Today I'm going to take you on a tour of our main site and hopefully you will learn some more about the incredible work that we do here. On your screen now is the entrance to our main site, which is situated on Maryhill Road in Glasgow. This is our reception area, which hosts some of the most recent artwork created by our school pupils. We also have a staff wall so visitors and pupils can see our members of staff. You can see from the photos that being able to provide the specialist support that we do is certainly not a one-man band. Leading on from the reception area is one of our two main classroom corridors. Each of these corridors have 4 main classrooms. To tell us a bit more, here is one of our principal teachers, Ailey.
Thanks, Kim. Hi and welcome to one of our main classrooms. All the main classrooms are the same shape but look slightly different as they're set up to best suit the needs of the learners. For example, this class is set up for some of our more sensory-based pupils compared to this classroom, which is set up for learners who are able to complete more formal learning. Each class has a small kitchen area for hand washing, making drinks and snacks, and for preparing sensory lessons. All the kitchens are hidden behind a sliding door to minimise sensory input. There's also a breakout room for each class. Again, these are set up to suit the individuals in the class. The breakout rooms are used for things like quiet spaces, teaching spaces, and sensory dens. Our classrooms are colour-coded and named so the pupils can identify their own classroom. At East Park, classes are grouped by compatibility, not by age. Our biggest class consists of 4 pupils and a minimum of 1 main class and 1 small class is available to them. This is so the class doesn't get too busy. Most of our children always have 2 support workers with them, meaning that in a class with 4 pupils with 2 support workers each, plus a teacher, classes can be very busy and very noisy. Each pupil has their own timetable displayed on the wall. Some activities are individual, some with the rest of the class group, and some outings with other classes. Each timetable is based around the individual, rather than a one-size-fits-all approach that it is with a mainstream curriculum. As and where the activities are taking place, the pictures are moved from the timetable to a Now and Next board. The Now and Next is then carried about by the young person to help with transitions, and so that the young person constantly has a reminder of what they're doing now and what they're doing next. This helps them focus and motivate them in the current task before the preferred activity afterwards. Throughout East Park, there are many ways in which our children communicate and learn to communicate. One way is through speech. This can be from broken words to full sentences. Another method is through the use of Makaton, which is a basic sign language which forms whole words rather than individual letters. You might have seen Mr. Tumble use Makaton on CBeebies. PECS, which stands for Picture Exchange Communication System, is when a child hands a staff member a picture or symbol to make a request for an item. Pointing boards are another method of communication. This is when pupils have a sheet of symbols and pupils can point to the symbols to tell staff what they want. Some of our children also use communication devices which are iPads that talk when specific buttons are pressed. Sequence strips are another method we use to support our pupils' understanding. This is a sequence of symbols that help the pupil understand the task and the duration of the task. We have sequence strips in the back of every fire exit so that staff can collect them on the way out the door if the alarm goes off, and that will help our young people to understand what's happening and to stay calm. We also use timers in class to help pupils focus on learning activities. The timers range from 30 seconds to 30 minutes. An example of an activity would be our Good Morning. During Good Morning, in my class, pupils sing a good morning song, they look at the weather and they talk about the day of the week, and we practice our Makaton signing. We have a colour and a smell for each day of the week too, which helps pupils' understanding. Some other activities might be jigsaws, sensory play, and this can consist of a range of activities such as water play or sand play, going on an outing. As well as having focused PE lessons, our pupils visit local swimming pools, they go horse riding, or to the local trampoline park. And we really can't wait for these activities to all start again. So these are our main classrooms at East Park. I'll now pass you back to Kim to continue with your tour.
Thanks, Ailey. At the top end of this corridor, we have our book Nook, which we are able to create thanks to the generosity of supporters' donations. This is an area where pupils can come with their staff members to have some quiet time away from their peers. Depending on the individual young person, they can enjoy either reading a book, a sensory story, an audiobook, or a picture book. Children and members of staff can also choose a book of the week. We are very grateful to our supporters who continue to donate books for this area. Next is our art room. I'm going to pass you over to our amazing art specialist, Rain, who we are able to fund thanks to the support of our donors.
The art room is a warm and welcoming environment where students can feel relaxed and enjoy expressing their creativity. We have both group and individual sessions depending on the needs of the pupil, sometimes using classrooms or even corridors if making transitions is difficult. Sessions follow a set format to provide a familiar structure, and this is communicated through sequence strips detailing the steps to be followed. Giving choices is central to art activities, and students are always offered a range of materials to choose from, encouraging self-expression and a sense of ownership of their work. PEX symbols, colour wheels, signifier objects, Makaton and pointing boards are used to facilitate this. Some young people love getting stuck into messy play, and others are more cautious, so care is taken to adapt lessons to the needs of the individual. We had a young man new to the school who wasn't keen to engage with art at all for some weeks. However, one of his favourite objects was lengths of shiny Christmas beads. We had the idea for him to dip the beads in paint, and he flicked them across lengths of wallpaper, creating wonderful patterns and marks which he was really proud of, and he went on to enjoy art classes every week after that. Songs play an important role in marking beginnings and endings of the art lesson, and help engage both students and with each other and with staff. We use fishy music resources which promote emotional literacy and self-esteem with a general feel-good factor. Fishy music also incorporates signs and symbol movies for another level of communication. On Thursdays, the whole school meets together, along with workmates, for singing and dancing to fishy music, and it's become a highlight of the week for many of us.
Thank you, Rain. Each classroom has a direct access door to the garden. Pupils from different classes enjoy interacting with each other at lunchtime as well as times throughout the day. This is also where a lot of our outdoor learning takes place. We are very grateful to Spy Fox Trust for supporting us and enabling us to create such a lovely space in the middle of our grounds. This corridor over here was part of our £3 million East Park is Expanding campaign, which was completed in 2017. Let us join Principal Teacher Amy and take a look inside.
Thanks, Kim. This is our Rainbow Corridor, which was part of the East Park is Expanding build, which was completed in 2017. This corridor has 5 individual classrooms, 4 being this size and 1 being slightly larger. As you can see, these classrooms are different compared to the main classrooms. These rooms are used for our children who struggle to share space with others, whether that be due to needing their own space, the noise level in the main classrooms, or requiring a low stimulus environment. Each individual class is very basic inside and is decorated to meet the needs of the individual child. For example, this person needs a blank canvas, this person likes a choice of toys as well as a dark gel-out space, and this person loves photos but needs them out of their reach so they don't rip them when they are distressed. Again, the doors are colour coordinated and all lead out into the garden. Each pupil is part of a main class group and at times throughout the week joins their class for some activities or has a peer come up to join them for an activity or lunch. Our aim is to include the individual in the main class as much as possible, with the goal for them to be part of the main class permanently. These classrooms often have a timer velcroed to the outside of the door. This is for when the pupils need time on their own. For example, staff will go into the class for 5 minutes and complete some work with the pupil and then come out for 5. The pupil will use the timer as a gauge to when staff will come back into the classroom. An example of how well these can work is an individual we have who now lives with us was not leaving her house prior to coming to East Park. Over the course of 4 years we have slowly increased this girl's time in school. Sometimes this just meant for her to be in the school building for half an hour per day, until now she is in school all day and has recently joined a main class with 3 other pupils. The same girl is now able to leave her house where she lives with us and is able to travel in a car to places like the beach, to visit family, and to our favourite place, McDonald's, for an ice cream. These rooms are invaluable for our pupils with the most complex needs and gives them a place to participate in education in a very person-centred way.
Thanks, Amy. This is our second main classroom corridor, which is almost identical to the classroom corridor that you saw earlier. The main difference between the two is that instead of an art room, this corridor has an additional individual class for one of our pupils. Next, we move on to what we call the den, which is our sensory garden and home to our two pet chickens, Ginger and Moondust. Pupils come into this area and enjoy planting different foods and plants which taste, smell and feel different. Without our donors, we would not have the materials to make this area. And this is Ginger and Moondust. In 2019, we were lucky enough to be able to watch little eggs hatch into the cutest yellow fluffy chicks. Ever since, we have been in love with our pet chickens. The children really enjoy learning how to look after them, clean their coop, and cook and sell the eggs that they lay each day. Along this corridor is our admin, finance and fundraising teams who are the driving force behind the huge task of the daily running of East Park. We also have our learning and development team. East Park is an SQA accredited training centre and all of our staff are put through formal qualifications whilst working at East Park, as well as providing external training. Our learning and development team also have the mammoth task of keeping our staff up to date on various types of specialist training, as well as a continuous 2-year rolling training programme, all of which allows our staff to be able to provide the best care possible to our children and young people. We are now entering the old part of the building. Upstairs is our HR team, as well as our boardroom, which hosts many different types of meetings and training courses. In front of us is what used to be the original main entrance to the building. This is now our access door to our new intensive support service. As well as our 4 residential houses that are situated within the local community, we have 2 houses on site. These houses were also part of the East Park is expanding build. Unlike our community houses, in which children have their own bedroom and share a bathroom and living area, these 2 houses have separate bedrooms, bathrooms and living areas, as well as communal areas to encourage socialising when a young person is able to. Now we will head down this corridor to our Workmates service. Here is Joanne, Senior Learning Support Worker at Workmates, to tell you what they do.
Hi and welcome to Workmates. Workmates is East Park service for 18 to 25-year-olds. We support our students to continue to live their lives as independently as possible, and we do this by supporting them out in the community. We take part in activities such as recycling, newspaper deliveries, college courses and dance classes, as well as work experience. Some examples of past and present work experiences are working at the Tall Ship, working in a local hairdresser and working in a local charity shop. Each morning, our students gather in our hub, which you can see on the screen now, and enjoy socialising with each other over a drink and a snack such as tea and toast. We then go out and do our planned activities and meet again in the hub for lunch together. In the afternoon, we go out and take part in a second activity. Some activities will be in groups and others will be by the student and staff member on their own. All our students are one-to-one, which means that one staff member will always be supporting one student. Our students don't always come to Workmates every day. Depending on their adult service funding and various other personal factors, days can range from 1 to 4. So that's the Workmates department in East Park. Thank you for visiting and thank you for your support. We hope to see you soon.
Thanks, Joanne. This is our multi-sensory room, which we call Snoozlin. This is one of the most popular and well-used rooms in East Park, and because of that, if we're being completely honest, it is looking a bit tired and does need an upgrade. We will be fundraising to upgrade this room very soon. The young people come in here to relax and to get some sensory input. Lights can be chosen by the young person, as well as music and vibrations. The machine helps the child to understand the process of cause and effect, and because the children are so relaxed whilst in this room, it is the place to witness some of the most amazing and vital relationship bonding between young people and staff. Welcome to the Mitchell Hall, which is named after our founder who started East Park in 1874. Here is music specialist Brian to tell us about the activities that take place in the hall.
My name is Brian Tolland and I'm the specialist music tutor at East Park. Almost everyone can enjoy meaningful participation in music and music making. The key, no pun intended, is to be sensitive in facilitating this participation. This will enhance the possibility of positive educational, social and psychological outcomes for all our learners. For me, there are many definitions of music, but I believe the most accurate to be simply this. Music consists of sound or sounds which anyone wishes to hear or create. With this in mind, starting point zero in music education is always the learner. This is usually done by exploring what types of music the young person likes to hear and then illustrate how that music is put together. I call this process soft learning. We have 3 environments wherein music education is delivered at East Park, and these are dependent on the size of the group. The Mitchell Hall is for large groups, the music room is for smaller groups, and the classrooms and individual rooms are for one-to-one learners. The range of abilities at East Park is very broad. We have learners who simply want to appreciate music making in a stimulating environment, as well as those learners who have written songs, used multi-track recording techniques and performed on public stages. For example, at the Clyde 1 stage in George Square last Christmas. We try to give all our learners the opportunity to participate in creative educational musical activities. Each Friday we have our Star Assembly in the Mitchell Hall. We're currently doing this via Zoom. In this event, learners and staff are nominated by their peers to receive a star in recognition of their work achievements during that particular week. Assembly begins and ends with the same 2 songs each week to highlight the structural element which is important for many of our learners. There's also a Makaton lesson and 2 other songs. One of these songs will refer to a particular theme in that week's work, and the final song will be requested by a particular class. Assembly is always a fun and positive way to signal that the week is coming to an end.
Thanks, Brian. Another positive and fun activity that our children love to take part in is visiting our soft play. This soft play is used throughout the week to allow pupils to let off some steam for some of our PE lessons and for pupils to be able to bond with peers. Just like in Snoozlin, lights and music can be adapted to each individual's likes and dislikes. This is our Lifescale Suite. This is where our children learn to cook, make themselves drinks including tea, and practice sitting in a cafe-style setting. We also have a bedroom fitted with a washing machine so that the children and young people can learn to make their beds, put a washing on, and hang up wet clothes to dry. We also have a shower room so that personal presentation can be taught and practiced. All of the artwork that you see around the building was made by our pupils. If you would like to purchase some, please see the link in the description below. Last but not least is our lunch hall, Tuckers. The children come here for lunch each day. Lunches are staggered so that the room does not become too busy and overwhelming for our pupils. The seats are arranged in the same way every day, and each child has their own designated seat. This is so that the visit to Tuckers is predictable for the child, which helps them to feel safe. The doors throughout the building are all controlled entry, not to lock anybody in, but to keep everyone safe. Our children do not have a sense of danger, and when distressed, if all of our doors were open, they could get themselves into danger very quickly. When you're in the building, you will also see pictures on each door. This is so that the child knows what's on the other side of the door, again, being predictable to keep the child feeling safe. And that is us back at reception. Thank you so much for joining us on this virtual tour. I hope that you've learned more about East Park and what we do. If you would like to keep up to date with what we are doing, then please check out our social media and our website. The details will be on the screen shortly. On our website, you can also sign up to our newsletter, which currently comes out twice a year. Thank you so much again, and we hope to welcome you to East Park very, very soon.